Welcome to the Max Lot and Serial Control training session. I'm your Exact Americas trainer, Vince Stefanetti. In this session, we're going to show you how easy it is to start implementing lot and serial tracking in Max. Now, we're going to go over all the basics and as well get into more detail as we move along. Don't be worried if you know little or nothing about the module. We're going to start at the beginning and explain everything. It is important to know that you have a complete set of documentation in PDF format installed with your Mac system. You also have an online portal that contains a knowledge base and many other resources. You can gain access to the portal by navigating to https://customers.exact.com. If you do not yet have access to the portal, be sure to contact your customer advocate so you can get a username and password. Now let's take a look at what we're going to learn in this session. We're going to go over lot and serial tracking setup, part group maintenance, inventory transactions, sales order processing, shop floor processing, and we're going to learn how to view history and the as-built configuration. Lot and serial tracking is used to control and monitor the assignment of components and finished goods lot and/or serial numbers from receipt to shipment. Once a part has been flagged as requiring lot and/or serial control, the system will maintain an audit trail as a part is received from the vendor, issued to work in process, completed, and shipped to the customer. All information on a specific lot and serial number can be accessed instantly. Now let's look at some of the features. Now, lot and serial numbers are unique per part number by default. You can assign a lot to quarantine, preventing issues or shipments of that lot until a supervisor removes or overrides the quarantine. You can assign a shelf life to a part. You can assign lot and serial numbers when receiving parts to stock. You can pick lot and serial numbers to be issued when issuing from stock. You can pick lot and serial numbers being shipped to customers. You can assign lot and serial numbers using repetitive manufacturing. You can assign lot and serial numbers to byproducts. Those are parts that have a negative quantity per in the bill of material. You can scrap a part under lot and serial control from the repetitive scrap transaction. You can let Max assign lot and serial numbers automatically when product is received into stock or shop orders are released. Optionally, you can require lot and serial numbers to be assigned at the time a shop order is released. You can manually create parent component lot serial relationships. Max allows you to fully investigate by drilling up or down and searching by order number, lot, or serial number. You have complete review of all transaction history by lot, serial, part, or order number, limiting the query by date and type of transaction. You can print the parent's starting and lot and serial number at the top of a pick list, and optionally print lot and serial numbers for components. And Max maintains data integrity by not allowing lot and serial number records to be deleted. Okay, now let's look and see how you actually set up lot tracking in Max. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the configuration switches and review all the detail about these switches. So in System Manager, navigate to Activity, System Configuration, and select Lot Tracking. Our first one is Autofill. When users manually enter a lot and serial number with this flag set to Yes, Max will check the settings for next lot number and next serial number and will autofill the field based on the next available number as the user begins manually entering lot and serial information. When Auto Lot is set to Yes, this causes the system to automatically generate lot numbers during the receipt to stock process and as manufacturing orders are released. When Auto Lot PO change is set to Yes, this allows the user to override the auto-assigned lot numbers on purchase orders. Setting it to No will not allow changes to the auto-assigned lot number. Max assigns serial numbers to serial-controlled parts not under lot control at the time shop orders for the part are created. Max assigns serial numbers sequentially, starting with the number displayed in the lot tracking system configuration keys next serial number. When Max assigns the serial numbers, Max creates corresponding serial master records and increments the next serial number item to the last serial number assigned plus 1. If a serial number in the range of numbers to be assigned already exists, Max will skip it and assign the next available number. If the auto serial number configuration item is set to no, Max assigns no serial number to serial control parts not under lock control. Users must assign serial numbers to such parts manually. For decimal places, the number entered here specifies the number of decimal places that the system will allow for entering and displaying locked quantities. The range is 0 to 10. Users should also review the inventory control transaction screen preferences for decimals to make sure the user preferences are set the same. Next, lot number. If the auto-generate lot numbers switch is set to yes, this value will be the default lot number assigned to the next shop order for a lock-controlled part. This default value is incremented by 1 whenever a new shop order for a lock-controlled part is created. It may be overridden. Now note here either numeric no leading zeros or leading alpha characters followed by numeric must be used for lot identifiers. Max will keep the same leading character and increment the number following the characters. Max will keep the same leading character and increment the number in this case. You have a maximum of 30 characters. If the auto-generate lot number switch is set to yes, this value will be the default serial number assigned to the next serial controlled part ordered. This default value is incremented by 1 whenever a receipt is processed or a manufacturing order is approved or opened. It can be overridden. Now note again, either numeric no leading zeros or leading alpha characters followed by numeric must be used for serial identifiers. Max will keep the same leading character and increment the number. Physical lot or total lot applies to the physical inventory module and is covered in that training session. If the quarantine default is set to yes, Max automatically places every new lot into quarantine. Supervisory rights are required to remove a lot from quarantine. A lot in quarantine cannot be issued or shipped. If unique lot is set to yes, this prevents users from adding a lot number that already exists in that particular Max company. The lot number must not exist in the lot header table, which is the main table for lot control. The lot number must be unique throughout the Max company. Likewise, unique serial number performs the same function. Serial numbers must be unique for that Max company. And lastly, warning days. Entering a number of warning days causes the system to display the lot transaction date in yellow if the expiration date for the lot is within the number of warning days specified. The expiration date is displayed in red if the lot has expired. Now once you have all these switches set to the way you would like them to be, the next thing we need to do is we need to look at the part data. So we'll close this screen and we'll go into Engineering, Bills of Materials. And we'll go to Part Master and we're going to take a look at Inventory. Now the next step is to identify which parts are under lot and or serial control. This is done in the Bills of Materials Part Master Inventory tab, which we've navigated to. As you can see over here, we have a whole section for lot and serial tracking. Now our first flag is the lock control flag. If you would like to put a part under lock control, check the box. Now the lot SFC flag is used to assign lot numbers when a shop order is released. This provides some tighter control. If you want to have the lot number assigned when you create the shop order, you can check that here. Otherwise, you can assign it when you do the receipt to stock. The multiple receipts flag controls whether more than one receipt of this part can be made with the same lot number. If the multi-receipts flag is on or checked, all receipts from a lot share the same order. So for example, if your numbering convention uses the date of receipt, and more than one receipt is processed during a day, the multi-receipts flag should be turned on. If the multi-receipts flag is off or unchecked, only one PO order number can be associated with the lot. MAX requires a unique lot number on each PO line, and MAX allows the same lot number on deliveries. MAX does not allow multiple receipts of the same lot number on a specific PO line and delivery number. This affords tighter controls, but it also demands greater internal disciplines over material movements. The default setting is off. If you want to put a part under serial control, then check the serial control flag. That activates the serial SFC flag. This is similar to the lot SFC flag. So if this flag is on, the serial number must be entered at the time a manufacturing order is opened or approved for release. The serial number and the order number have to have a one-to-one relationship. Now note as well that if the multi-receipts flag is off and the serial SFC flag is on, the entire order quantity must be received into stock at one time. This provides the tightest control of serial numbers but demands strict internal disciplines over material movements. This flag cannot be set on until all currently approved and released jobs for the part have been completed and received to stock. Now the next field is shelf life. Now if you have lot tracking, you can designate a shelf life for the part if you want to. The field is entered in days, and you may enter up to 9,999 days if you want. If shelf life isn't applicable to this part, accept the default of 0. If the part's under lot control, you can enter the shelf life, and MAX will calculate and store the lot's expiration date as the lot is received into stock. Now our next field is the group. Now the group field allows users to establish parameters for controlling lot and serial numbers for a specified group of parts. The field displays the group ID the part is assigned to. Now a group ID or group description and group parameters and how lot and serial numbers are assigned can be viewed, and new groups can also be added from this field by clicking the Add button. And let's take a look at these fields here. So the group ID is the code used to group parts with the same lot and serial range and properties. The description is a text field that you can use to assign to the group. If a start lot and optionally end lot are entered, the auto-generated or manually entered lot numbers will be validated against the range. Now note here that lot numbers are limited to 30 characters, and when you define ranges of lot numbers, alpha and special characters can be used to create a prefix. All characters to the left of the rightmost alpha special character will be the same for each lot number in the range. The lot number will be padded with leading zeros as indicated by the start lot. You can also enter in a serial number range here. Now if a part is assigned to a group, MAX will not allow creation of a lot header record with the same lot number as an existing record for any part number assigned to the same group, or creation of a serial number record with the same serial number as an existing record for any part number assigned to the same group. There is one exception for lot and serial control parts assigned to groups with the duplicate serial number flag set to yes. You can specify whether you're going to use auto lot, auto serial number. You can enter in the next lot number and the next serial number. You can also choose to allow for duplicate serial numbers as well. You can assign quarantine, and they have the ability to use a user-defined key in reference fields, and you can specify the warning days. Now you can add groups here by clicking the Add button, but you can also go into part group maintenance from the activity menu and maintain the groups here in this dialog box. Simply click Add New, and then you can specify a new one here. You can enter in all the specific information here: start lot, specify duplicate serial number, auto lot and auto serial, and so on. In our example here, we added one here, product line 00. If we browse, we can find that one here and look at all the configuration items. So what you can do is you can go to Activity, Part Group Maintenance, and add all your groups here. Once you've done that, you can go into the Part Maintenance screen here, double-click on the group, and assign it to a particular part. We'll select one here. We'll place it under Lot and Serial Control. Double-click on the group, Query, and Add. Now, if you've been using Macs and you've not turned on Lot and Serial Control yet, there's a procedure that you must do in order to add parts under Lot and Serial Control. What you need to do is first cycle count all lot and serial parts to 0. Go back in and change the flags in the part master here and set your flags. Then go through and cycle count all your parts back into inventory, assigning lot and serial numbers to them. If you do have open orders, please talk to your account representative about having a consultant help you initialize the module. Okay, so to review our initialization of lot and serial tracking, basically what we did is we went into System Manager, went into System Configuration, and we set our lot tracking flags here. And we set all our switches here. Next, we went into Bills and Materials on a part-by-part basis and set the lot and serial tracking flags. Prior to that, if you wanted to utilize the part groups, you would have gone into Part Group Maintenance and created all your part groups, and then as you were going through and assigning the flags, assign the group to the part too. Okay, so once all that is done, you've basically initialized lot tracking in your system, and we can continue on and see how transactions are actually performed. Okay, well, the next thing we're going to look at here is how to process transactions in inventory, sales order processing, and shop floor control. So we'll go back to System Manager. We'll click on Materials and go to Inventory Control. We'll select Activity, Transactions. Now for our example, we're going to do an unplanned receipt. We've entered in a part number and a quantity, and then we'll click the Process button. You'll see here you're presented with the lot and serial dialog box. And since we have auto lot and auto serial number turned on, it's automatically generated those for us. If you click on Advanced Selection, you have the ability to include or exclude lot and serial combinations. We'll keep the default for now. Click OK, and then we'll process the transaction. And as you can see, we now have 10 in finished goods inventory for this part under lot and serial control. Now let's perform a cycle count on those parts we just entered in. Enter the quantity and click Process. Okay, let's look at the additional fields in this dialog box. Now the expiration date applies only to lots. Now the expiration date is calculated at time of receipt by taking the receipt date and adding the number of calendar days entered in the inventory part data under shelf life. The expiration date will turn red if the lot has expired. For the override checkbox, users with supervisory rights may check the override box to override a lot that has gone past its expiration date. It may then be shipped or issued. On quarantine, supervisory rights are not required to mark a lot for quarantine. New lot numbers may be automatically placed in quarantine by specifying the switch that we saw earlier to make sure that it goes under quarantine when the receipt is performed. Supervisory rights are required to remove a lot from quarantine. Associate. You can perform a Windows association with any lot or serial number by associating any type of file with the part. This includes contracts, certificates, drawings, and so on. If we double click, it gives us a document browser. We can select a new one, browse for a particular document, bitmap, whatever you like, and you can add that here. It will therefore be actually linked to this particular lot. The disposition field can be used to add specific information regarding the disposition. If you double click on the notes field, you could add notes to this particular lot and serial combination. Now let's do another example using a cycle count. We'll select our part. We'll enter in our quantity. We'll click Process. We'll highlight a row, and we're going to pick a range. So we'll enter in the starting serial number. We'll enter in a lot number, and we'll enter in our quantity. We'll click OK, and it'll automatically generate the lot and serial information for us. We'll then highlight the rows, click Select, and then process the transaction. We now have 10 in inventory. Okay, so let's take a look at how shipments are done in sales order processing. So we'll go to the sales order processing module. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a new order for our cookie that we had just cycle counted. Go into Order Entry, Sales Order New, Customer Order. We'll select our customer. Put in our order quantity of 10. Enter in our part. And we'll go ahead and save that line item. Now to quickly ship, we can click this Switch Form button here. And now we can put a shipment in for this particular order. Alright, we'll select a quantity. We'll ship partial. And we'll have the lot tracking screen here. We'll go ahead and select 2, because that is our ship quantity, as you can see at the very top here. And we'll go ahead and process this. So on shipping, that's pretty much all there is to it. You'll receive the dialog box, you'll make your selection of lot and serial numbers that you want to choose from, and process the shipment. Now if you're going to transact a credit memo, which means you'll be shipping a credit memo, then in order for that to occur, the orders must have been posted. So we're going to add a credit memo here for this product we just shipped. We'll go to Activity, Order Entry, New, and we'll select Credit Memo. And our customer is this one here. And we'll put the order quantity in of 2 and our part ID. And we'll go ahead and save that. Then we'll toggle over to the ship order. We'll enter in our quantity of 2 and select to ship partial. We'll put in our 2 items here, our 2 lot and serial numbers, and we'll process that. And that's how you do it on a credit memo. Okay, the next transaction we want to have a look at has to do with shop floor. So we'll go into the module. We'll select Activity, Shop Order. We'll select a part number. And as you can see here, under lot and serial, we have a lot that's appearing. We'll enter into quantity. We'll run query. That'll give us our order bill and order routing. And the reason why this is appearing here now is because we have the flag set in bills and materials for this part, lot SFC. Now, as we went over earlier, if this is checked, you're required to enter that in when you add the shop order. We also have serial SFC entered here too. Let's go back to the order, and we'll go ahead and save that. Now, once that's saved, you'll see that the serial allocation has been activated. If we click that button, you can see that we have editing capabilities here for the serial numbers. Now, the next action after creating our shop order is to issue the components. So we'll go to Inventory Control. We'll select Issue tab. We'll select Shop from the drop-down. We'll enter our order here. We'll run the query, and that'll give us the components that are required to issue the order. There are a couple here that don't have on hand, so we'll skip those for the time, but we'll process this transaction. Okay, now that you've issued the order, the next action would be to post operations completions. That's in shop floor. We'll select our order number, and we would enter in quantity complete and quantity scrap here. Okay. Now, the final action after issuing and after posting operation completions is to receive the order to stock. So we'll go back to Inventory Control. We'll select the Receipt tab. We'll select Shop. We'll select our order. We'll run the query. We'll select the row to receive to stock. Now you can see here that it's prompting us for the part that's under lot and serial control, our parent part. We'll click Process. It's giving us a warning because we had shortages. We'll click OK. We'll select the lots and the serial numbers, and then we'll process. Okay, so let's go back over to shop floor control and look at a couple other items of importance. We'll click on production and go back to shop floor, and we'll select Activity, Order Navigator. We'll run our query for released orders. We'll resort, and there's the order that we were working with. You can see that the lot and serial numbers appear here. Also, if you look at the detail of the order, you have these fields here. Alright, now let's look at reports and look at shop paperwork. Now on Print Shop Paperwork, you have a checkbox to print lot and serial numbers. We'll select our order, and run the report. You can see at the top here, it's giving the lot and serial number. And if there are components that have lot and serial control, you have the ability to show those here in this list. These aren't under control right now, but what you would see is you would see the part number and all the lots and serial numbers associated with it. Now the final thing we're going to have a look at here is to view lot tracking transaction history and the as-built configuration. So we'll go to Materials and go to Inventory Control. From Inquiry, we'll select Lot Transactions. Now you can see in this dialog box here that you can select a range of part IDs, order, serial, or lot. You can do a date range, and you can specify which transaction types. Clicking the None button will remove all the check marks, or you can select all, or check which ones you want to include or exclude. Say we just wanted to look at issue transactions. We can uncheck all these, select None, click Just Issues, and run the query. It'll show us the lot num and the serial number. A double left click will take you to the As-Built Configuration Explosion option, where a double right click will activate the As-Built configuration in implosion mode. If you select a row, you'll see that the Join Parent option becomes active. Clicking that will take you to an additional query. You can select the parent ID, run the query, select what you want, and click Join Component. That creates a logical connection structure-wise for the as-built configuration. This is a manual option allowing you to build the structures between the component and the parent item. Now the as-built configuration will give you a single or multi-level explosion by order, lot, or serial number, identifying the structure of the lot and serial combinations that are used in that entire structure. You can see here it shows the level, the low-level code, 1 and 2 here, the part IDs involved. You can even implode multi-level or single level. So in doing your investigations, this is a very good tool because it allows you to find out exactly where a particular lot or serial number was used in the creation of a product. That concludes our session on lot and serial tracking in MAX. Now let's take a look at what we've learned. First, we went over lot and serial tracking system setup. We showed you how to do part groups. We went over how to do transactions in inventory, sales order processing, and shop floor. We also looked at how you can review history and investigate information using the as-built configuration. Keep in mind that you have additional resources. You have the MAX documentation PDF files that are available through the links in the System Manager in MAX. There's also additional documentation on your system server. You can access the customer portal as well. You can contact professional services, and you can also contact your customer advocate. Thanks very much for attending.